And welcome everybody. Thank you very much for joining in this day, or rather today. I already screwed it up. Hello and welcome to Touhou Radio Next Generation. This is a very special podcast for me because as you guys can see, I've got some very awesome people with me. And yeah, without any further ado, I want to introduce you to my guests who are joining us today. It's the gang from the Hourai Teahouse. Awesome people, and I want to introduce them one after another. First of all, with the guy who actually, agreed on this interview, and I'm still very thankful for that. James, thank you very much for joining in today.
Hi.
And also, I want to introduce you to his both fellows, Gabo and also Roy. Thank you very much for joining in today.
Thank you. Hello.
Thank you.
And yeah, as you can see, I'm so hardcore excited today. Well, it is right now 4 minutes past midnight, so it is right now Reitaisai Day here in Germany. It is a midnight podcast, and I'm really in a freaking good mood. So, let's start off with these nice people. So, if if you have never heard about Hourai Teahouse, yeah, guys, you really I don't know where you've been living, but these guys actually definitely are one of the most awesome peoples you can think about in our community. And I would say the best way to explain what they're actually doing is asking themselves. So, guys, tell us a little bit about what Horai Teahouse is about.
So Hourai Teahouse is a collaborative online Western Dojin circle. We try to create great Touhou games. Um,
Okay.
a lot of our stuff is essentially done open source, um, in a collaborative fashion with members of the community. So creative individuals come together, and make cool things. Is essentially what we do. Our main project right now is Fantasy Crescendo. It is uh, Touhou platform fighter, akin to that of Super Smash Brothers by Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
We've been working on this for a good while now, and have shown some pretty good progress as of recent.
All right. And so, guys, if you haven't already done, you definitely have to like their Facebook page, and you should check out every possibility to get into contact with them because they are spamming out information 24/7. Like, you get all the latest
Not
news.
exactly, but
I mean, like I get all the information on your Discord. Like, this is an opportunity, guys. You will never have. Like, you can really be live with them as they develop a game. What
yeah,
later?
everything we do is
Yeah.
open on our Discord. So go ahead, just I'll provide the links somewhere. Hopefully someone can.
Provided here on Discord in the chat from our podcast now. I will post it then in the live chat as I dismantled the possibilities of posting links directly on the live chat despite me. Like, I've been a prick and then it suddenly happened. Thanks. And yeah, so guys, there you go. And also, you've got the other opportunity to check them out on Twitter, where they also inform us when they and when they are on a podcast like this one. Like, just a few days ago, they've been also on the podcast of Gensuke Radio. And so it was really like a coincidence. I was talking with James, and later I found out that they were been already been interviewed by Gensuke Radio. I was like, holy shit, I've been a little bit too late on that one. And I was like, oh, god damn it. But on the other hand, it was like, well, I'm really glad that I've got somebody who is that awesome. And these people are so really nice fellas. Like, I'm so happy about it that they could make it today to come. And yeah, let's talk about you guys in person. Like, thinking back to the roots, when did it actually start? When were you infected with the, I would say, Touhou virus?
With with Touhou, or
Yeah.
how did we start the circle?
First of all, Touhou itself.
So I actually got into it around 2009 or so.
Mhm.
Spent 3 years doing stupid stuff on YouTube, just making those what many people call secondary comments, just nonstop. That was until maybe 2012 when I really started getting into the actual um uh into the games themselves. Started playing them a lot. And that was also around the time when I started becoming active, at least within the Reddit community. The our Toho on Reddit was pretty big community that has been growing steadily since. We've had I've been a big participant there, and we've done some pretty crazy things. Since then, we started the circle. I started another online convention known as Reddit Taisai,
Mhm.
and since then I've largely focused on things related to improving the Dojin community in the West. Um,
Wow.
It's obviously blossoming uh, in Japan very well, but over here in the West, it's a little bit stifling, to say the least.
Definitely.
I'll let the other two guys speak up for their own experiences.
All right. So who wants to be the next?
I can go.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Peacock Roy, and I guess my first kind of like experience with the Touhou's would probably be I don't know, probably around 2009 as well, but I didn't really get into it until about 2014 or so. Um, but my first experience, like a lot of people, was probably through the mislabeled Death Waltz video. So like in the comments, it's like, oh, this isn't really whatever. This is from this game, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a pretty interesting song, but I don't really know much about the game. Um, and I think it was like 2014 or so when I actually first played a game because I was just kind of interested in knowing like the origin and stuff. And then I kind of got more involved when another project wanted music, and I was like, hey, I can do music. So I started delving into the music of the games more. Um, and so eventually that experience led me to Hourai Teahouse, where I got into it like even more and like, sort of just kind of catching up on the lore and stuff. I wouldn't say I'm like a huge presence because I'm not, but I kind of know my way around, I guess. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know.
All right. But it sounds very interesting. And what about you, Gab?
Well, hello. Um, Known as Gab07. I'm Hourai Teahouse's environment artist. For me, it all began some years ago, about like 4 or so. I was playing League of Legends at the time, and I saw an item called Yumu's Ghostblade. So from there, I was like, oh, what's this? So I started looking for it in Wikipedia or Google, and I found out that this came from a game called Touhou Project. From there, I got into the Reddit and eventually Hourai Teahouse itself, and here I am.
Wow. So it was like you just linked in at the right moment, huh? Like
Yeah.
you were straight on a run and then switch and got into it. Now I think as that we know that whether your background is to into Toho, whole IT house itself wasn't like there instantly, but you've got to tell me like how it began, what were the first steps, and what is the background story to it.
Yep.
Off you go, guys. Who wants to tell me the story?
Um,
I'm gonna let
would
James
you?
answer this just because I missed the question.
I also missed it. Do you mind repeating
All
that?
Yeah.
right.
Can you
Sorry.
repeat,
Like,
please?
Hourai Tea House wasn't there, and the first guy joined in, but you guys, there was somebody who came up with it. So, what is the background story of it? What is
Oh,
the
Okay.
origin?
So there was a previous Toho platform fighter project, which we will not name for the because they've done some particular things that were not too friendly with both the community and to Zune of all people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they were fairly successful to a certain point, but made some fairly major mistakes when it came to certain legality issues, and ultimately their project sort of fell on its face. We couldn't. A lot of us in the community were pretty disappointed that it would not continue,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Roku Gurin, one of the individuals that basically started this entire thing, made a post to our Toho dev at a certain point, trying to gather people that were interested in working together to recreate this experience. And a lot of us jumped on that ship. Really quickly, within maybe a day or two, created a Skype chat with maybe 30 something people in it.
Wow.
Started. Hmm?
Was it like 30 people? Because I remember it was more like 5 at the beginning, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
well,
wasn't very much people.
it wasn't very much to begin with, but very good number of
Rapidly.
people were
Mm,
helping out with it. It was not like a single person project.
Yeah.
Um, we have since that at that point we didn't even think of calling ourselves a circle. We didn't even think about you know, putting this out as a Dojin product. It was sort of just a half-ended project that we thought was going to be an easy thing to do. Unfortunately, it is both harder than we thought it was, and fortunately, we have since evolved into a more cohesive group since. I think it was around when Gabo and our character artists, 3D character artists, David Rice, and our animator, Nineball, who unfortunately could not be here today, um, joined in probably mid 2015. The entire everything before this was, what would you say, like late prehistory is
Um,
like a.
I would say like the earliest stuff of the group, as the group was probably like between January and June of 2015. Um, yeah, I will note that when I mentioned before that I made music for a game, it was for that previous attempt, and the reason why I even joined the Teahouse, I guess, is because I was looking for a place for people who would be able to use the music that I wrote for the other people because they didn't implement it before they got taken down, I guess.
And we have since incorporated into a small circle. I think we have what 30 something people contributing at this point.
Something like that.
I can check the numbers later. But yeah, it's a blossoming project. We're moving pretty quickly. We're hoping to get a public demo out probably by Reddit Taisai this year, which it will be July 29th.
Wow.
If you want to see more details about that event, go check out the Touhou Reddit. It's you can. It's one of the stickies on there right now.
All
It
right.
was a very rough beginning, but we're up to speed now.
Yeah. It was kind of
It's
a
always
revolving
tough
door.
keeping. Yeah, people come in, people leave. It's really tough maintaining momentum for such a project like this. Building
A
momentum and
massive
keeping
project.
it. It's starting to get big.
I mean, like, I was so surprised when I got into it. It was like Hourai Teahouse. I heard about it already earlier, and JD, who my casual community knows, he was like, "Dude, you've got to ask James if he wants to be a guest. Like, you got the opportunity." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Can you tell me more?" Yeah, he's like someone from the Hourai. He was like, "You're shitting me, right?" And he's like, I was like, "Is it that James?" And he's like, "Yes." How haven't you ever noticed? I was like, holy shit, I've got to ask him. Went straight in, and then he also invited me to his Discord, and I was looking around, just like, whoa, this is how a professional team looks like. At the same time, I felt
We're
so small.
by far not a professional team. All of us are really amateurs that have come together. It's both. I view it twofold. The entire purpose behind the group as a whole is one, to foster a creative community within the Toho community, like basically foster the creative talents of people, and two is to gain experience. A lot of us don't have much professional experience in this. Well, some of us do work professionally in the fields that we work with in for the actual group, but we don't necessarily what we necessarily do for Hourai Teahouse is not considered at, in any capacity professional. It's more of a hobbyist group that comes together and builds something cool.
Which is very impressive to see. If you look at the at the results, it's awesome. I just today, for example, we saw that animation from Yomu, that demo animation, and I was looking at it and was like, wow. And this is just like a sample. I would need decades to get that far, and I was like, oh my gosh, so many talented people here.
So, the person you actually mentioned, Coolpool,
Yeah.
the one working on Yomu's, I think, Up Air right now, is actually someone who had zero animation experience beforehand.
Wow.
He basically said, "I want to help out. I don't know what I can do, but I'm fully willing to learn."
Wow.
And that's basically what he did. He spent a good month or two learning how to animate, and he rolled with it.
Which is
So-
absolutely impressive.
So we actually strongly encourage people to join us in the actual development process. There's a lot of work to do. So we're the actual core team that we have is fairly small. And at the speed that we're going to finish the base game that we're expecting maybe in, I don't know, 7 years or something. But as more people help out with it, the colossal effort becomes much more manageable.
I can see what you mean. Like, what I actually also liked at your from your circle were also all the samples for your songs, and this is actually a point which which would link us straight into the first song that we will play tonight, which is actually, as you said, a work from your own team. What I'm talking about is the orchestral Doll Judgment, the girl who played with the People's, what was it? Got to check
Shapes?
it. Yeah, Shapes. The arrange. Actually, is
It's done by D3 Crescentio, one of our resident musicians and
Like-
Smash expert.
I listened to it and I was like, all right, is there anything this circle does not have? Like, they've got everything collected and set up, and I was so absolutely stunned. And I definitely know that you will think the same if you listen to it. But before we start with it, tell us a little bit about the song itself. How far do you know about its development? Like, was it planned for? Is it planned for the game, or how?
Oh, it's
is
already
the
in the game.
connection? Oh, it's already in. So
The Doll Judgment one that we have is already being used in the Forest Magic stage, which Gabo here made.
okay,
You'll be able to hear it. It'll come up pretty much every single once in a while. Like
Wow.
Smash, all of our music is randomly selected from a small pool for each stage.
yeah,
So, for example, the Forest of Magic has Roy's Love Colored Magic. There's also a Stirring Moon Insect arrange as well. There's the Doll Judgment one. There's Magus Knight, so on and so forth, included in the game already.
all right. So guys,
It's really nice to. Sorry, it's really nice to test the game with these songs on. It's very inspiring.
I can already imagine that. Man, I definitely got to think about playing the demo version of yours. Let me know if you need a beta tester. Okay,
We're
Alright.
open for it.
all right, guys.
Go ahead,
So-
play the song.
We will play the song right now, sure thing. So, guys, as a starter for you, here it goes. Here's the first song of the night. Well, enjoy this awesome arrangement. It's an orchestral version of Doll Judgment. Enjoy the song and hear you guys afterwards. goosebumps everywhere, guys. Like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Like, and think about it. This song is just one example of so many of them which they play. So it is amazing, isn't it? How great these people are, and what a great start they are. I mean, like, I could definitely fill up my playlist with all their songs. It would be like, yeah, it would be like a whole thing for a 3 or 4 podcast. Then for me, like, I could play them 24/7. I so in love with that and with their work. So it is impressive. Like, guys, we just heard the first song out of many to come today, and just to think about songs which are a very important part inside games, because they are the quintessence which changes either if the person feels motivated or sad or emotional, generally inside the games. Um, did you got times when you got a game scenario and you're asking yourself like, well, we've got to ask our people to make a song that sounds more like these kind of feeling, or like this kind of emotional scenario? Is there any kind of conversation between you and the writers? Like, do you talk with them very frequently about which kind of scenario they've got to fulfill or where to change their arrangements?
Um, well, we don't. Well, the thing is, we don't really have like a set. Um, we want to be like. Well, I don't want to say we want to be like Smash because that just sounds like we're ripping them off. But we're trying to take a similar approach where, um, like the genre or whatever doesn't really matter so much. We do generally try to encourage more kind of energetic ranges since it's a fighting game and you don't want um like the like a slow "My Heart Will Go On" ballad
Mhm.
playing in the background. um so that's really the only general direction we have. um it's
I
not
do
like
try I do try to manage that with the stages. I mean, some stages will be more happy than others.
Mhm.
So I try to convey that with the visuals of the place, the colors, the
Mhm.
ambience,
Mm.
so the player feels like they really belong into this fantasy place. And the
This is
music
actually
amplifies this.
great point, because you see, um, when I did my finals in high school, I had music, and one of the things that, or rather, because I've been born to a family which is very deep into music stuff. One of the questions you always ask yourself is like, which picture you've got when you're listening to that music, or which music do you need for that picture, like which color is it, which kind of situation, which kind of surrounding. And this is the thing, like this really is the difference between a game in which you just bluntly put in a song because it sounds awesome, or putting a song with a lot of thought into it because it feels like it's the atmosphere that really is transferred by it. Like, if you listen to that song that we had just now, and you get already the picture how all the scenario could be like, and it's like, wow, you're straight into it, you're grabbed, you're put straight into inside it. What you can't say about other songs, like, I don't want to give any examples from my side because then I will offend a lot of people, I guess. But there are, for example, songs in which I ask myself like, whoa, why did you put that song into this scenario that doesn't fit? But talking about games and other games, like, if you think about it for yourself, which Touhou game is the one that you like the most, and why is it?
um I have a couple different answers for this, but it's more depending on like what the actual question is. I think personally,
Mm.
um, I think probably Imperishable Night is probably one of the strongest soundtracks. I think probably as a
I think
personal opinion.
Imperishable Night and Mountain of Faith cumulatively
Um,
have like the most number of listens on my end.
I also, on my end, I feel if there's any game in the series that kind of nailed the character themes, I personally like to go with like subterranean animism because I feel like every character in the game fits their theme really well. Like between like the sort of booming power of like nuclear fusion stuff to like even like the bitter kind of sadness of green-eyed jealousy. I
Oh
think
yeah.
like so on that end I think it's one of the most character fitting soundtracks, but I do tend to go with Imperishable Night for just overall strongest.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Gabo?
In my case, it's also Imperishable Night because the music just fits so well with the gameplay. You just go through the bamboo forest and you see the moon on the background. It's a very powerful feeling. I'd like to convey this feeling in one of my future stages too. Really
Wow.
nice.
Oh, sounds good. Like there you have it. That's kind of a teaser for us, you know. Oh, this is happening at some point, guys. This is happening. You had the spoiler. Um,
The
hmm?
at least on my end, uh, when it comes to musically though,
Yeah,
um, and how it interacts with the game
yeah.
itself, I think DDC actually takes that cake. So double
Okay.
dealing character.
DDC. But it's got those guitars.
Yeah, the guitars. Uh, However, if you think about it, DDC's extra with Raiko,
Yeah.
the actual music syncs up directly to the gameplay itself,
Oh yeah.
and I don't know the feeling that the sixth stage gives you, at
Hmm.
least music wise, uh, perfectly syncs up with exactly like what you expect out of Sukuna as a character, like
Hmm.
little but powerful,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like it builds a nice tension
Wow.
as you go through the stage.
Hey, as we can see, these people know their stuff. They go really deep into the details, and that's what I like. Like, um, for me personally, I of course started with this classical one with EOSD because it was the first available for me. But I got to say, I played some of them. Like one of the more like off from the normal way of the Touhou games, like Phantasmagoria of Flower View. Actually, this kind of games are also very interesting for me. But the thing is always with music, melody, and I've got to say, the ending theme of Flower View is just, I love it. Like, you know, the epilogue where Aki is talking about the flowers and about the end of life, and then you have in the background this melody, which later Travis Stebbins transferred into the end. It's just such a nice one, and I really love it. But I think it's just a thing of our feelings. However, game wise, like your games are as you said, you didn't want it to be like a Smash Bros 2.0. You wanted to be something different, and you wanted to be something that really be in memories, and what I think is always a great idea. And I would like to know, if somebody would ask you, what does your game be something different than all the other stuff around? What were your three arguments to say this is the reason why?
So this part actually is curious because we actually aren't that far into the mechanical development of the game.
Mm-hmm.
When we're at the current state we're in, we
Mm-hmm.
are really just edging into the base engine. There's been a lot of there has needed a lot of background work
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
behind getting the actual base engine of the game up and running.
Uh-huh.
A lot of logistical stuff like when you're a Dojin developer in the West, you can't put your game on Steam or something else like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we've had to create our own patching system. We've had to create our own localization systems. All this stuff has to be built well beforehand, well before we even touch a lot of the basic gameplay elements,
Mm. Impressive.
just to solve a lot of those issues. Unfortunately, because of that, well, actually you could also say fortunately, we have the engine is very open right now. We can add or remove parts as we sort of wish to, and the structure of our code at the current moment really allows for easy extension. So, and I think one part of the entire thing is one selling point, at least as you mentioned, probably is the fact that the game isn't completely open. All the code is online. You can go ahead and download the source code itself, build the project. You can to your specification if you wanted to. So if you are really dissatisfied with the way we are doing things, you are completely welcome to go ahead, take our code, fork it, do whatever you want with it.
Wow.
If you say like, we want wave dashing in our game, and some other we may or may not agree with you on that. And we may go in an opposite direction. You can just straight up copy our code, fork it over, and so long as you're following a lot of the open source licenses that we're using, you can make alterations to it as you wish, making
Wow.
your ideal version. This kind of game right now is something that a lot of people have high expectations for, or say the game should be like this, or the game should be like this. And my answer to that is, why do we need to only have one game? Of course, there's going to be an officially supported one that will support everything else. That is something that everyone else will have to put in their own time to support.
Yeah.
But we do not limit anyone on exactly who can play what kind of thing.
Wow.
I feel like that's more of a player's choice than anything else.
Like this is like a sandbox system, or like this flexible use kits. Like you've got a kit, and you can create it like with Lego, actually, right? Like you can modify it and make it more.
Well, not totally with like Lego. There's a little bit more work put into it.
Okay, got to give you that. Yeah.
The game is already highly moddable. In fact, we each character in each stage is actually seen as a separate mod itself.
Wow.
This just makes it easier for us to get the actual game to you. It costs less on our end. But as a result of that, the game already like basically accepts if you can create a mod for it. Why not just you can either just straight up say, here's something that I made. It's pretty cool. And I think it should be in the actual canonical version of the game. Please do include it. Or you can just serve it up yourself, saying, here's my mod to this kind of game. Go ahead, go wild with it.
Well, this is very interesting and impressive. I mean, like all the things I actually do or modify are actually right now only skins on War Thunder, and this is already hard work for me. But to think about that, you get the opportunity because all the packages, as you say, are moddable. Like you've got the characters and so on. There are so many combinations and opportunities. Like if we would start to have a blog or something like this in which all the community could drop in their modifications, I guess this would be later really a big settlement of different mods, different game patches and so on. Wow. Oh, this is exciting. Like, guys, this would mean like you can do whatever you think about your own dreams. Like, actually, that does that also compute, or rather include like voices or things like this as well?
We're considering it. So everything when developing games comes at some kind of cost.
Yeah.
Whether that's money or time, that's to be seen. Voices, if people are willing to contribute voices, have practiced good number of them with the characters, we'll gladly accept it. However, right now, I don't think we have any strong plans of having that.
Okay. Like I can already see people looking for the opportunity to let their own name being called by the characters or something like that in between. Oh, damn, that would be like, oh, I can already see all that mods happening. Wow, this is awesome. But actually, like James actually introduced me to somebody who is right now, yeah, rescuing what is left from my project. Like you guys know that I'm working right now on a book, and I wanted to make an audiobook out of it. And he suggested that I should ask certain person. I went with her into a voice chat, and I can proudly announce now that I got my first character, which is actually already Aya. So the main female protagonist is already now written off, and she is good. And I was like so surprised. And James was like, "Well, I can suggest these people and these people and these people." And I was like, "Dude, this is crazy. Like I was looking for it for months, and now within a few minutes, you already list me people I never heard of, but they seem to be very good, and it's impressive. Like you've got so many great talents at your place, and actually, there's one question I always got to ask in that situation. Like, this is actually a little bit of a itchy question, maybe, but were there situations when you were so frustrated about the whole thing and you thought, like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this?
I don't know about Gabo and Roy, but um, I think it's less of a question of frustration with it, but rather how much I wanted to dedicate to this kind of project.
I
Um,
see.
it's obviously a big investment, both in time and at this point, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Um, uh, it's starting to also cost me money as well. I've started putting out what are known as open source bounties on certain parts of the game. Say, like for example, if you offer to do a little bit of animation for the game or make a character model, as a way of saying thank you, I pay a little bit of money to certain people.
I see. Yeah.
And I decided I have a decent amount, decently deep pockets. I can afford to pay people a little bit of this,
Mm.
and I think I've invested $10,000 into this project thus far.
Wow.
I haven't used all of it, but I
Mm.
have basically set it aside for use in the game.
Yeah.
I don't know, Roy, Gabo, have any other answers to this?
Well, at least in my experience, having to remake the Forest of Magic for like the third time was a bit heavy. But I think it was worth it because it came out really, really nice.
I see.
And it gave me the opportunity to learn how to code some shaders, which I previously didn't really know how to do them.
Mm.
Now I am actually the shader coder of the team. And well, it was worth it.
I mean, like, later on, if you guys check out their Discord, you will see so many images, GIFs, and short animations, song samples. It's amazing. Like, you really got the feeling to be straight in this. And it's like a live, yeah, it's like a live documentation, but way better because there is one first no stupid narrator, two it isn't scripted reality, third there is no commercial in between, so you get it straight into your face in 24/7. It's so,
That's
I
right.
can
If you
only
if you
recommend.
look in 3D, Gabo just posts screenshot after screenshot. It's
Every day, all
every
day.
day, yeah.
So definitely got to check out that guy, guys. I did, and I don't regret it. It was like the best decision ever. And I mean, like, you hear this, there is of course sometimes flaws, but then this willpower to say let's do it one more time because I don't feel satisfied with it. Wow. Roy, what about you?
So with like problems and
Yeah.
stuff. I guess honestly, my biggest problems are usually not with having to do like too much, but more that I can't do enough. Because it's a combination of inexperience and dedicating time to other things, I guess. Because I am very busy a lot of the time, so I can't always put my full focus on things for this game, although I do try to pitch in and try to help when I can. Like
Mm.
right now, my biggest thing is just kind of running some of the social media stuff because it can fit into the rest of the stuff I do. But like with writing music, for the game, it takes a lot of time to do um, do that sort of thing. So I can't always commit to it, especially when I am trying to do like school projects and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's really kind of like the biggest struggle I face. It's
Yeah,
just yeah.
a lot of the collaborators we have are actually students.
Mm.
Um, so it's I've actually pitched this entire thing as sort of a resume builder experience. A lot of the stuff that that people have worked on here are legitimate things that you can probably put on your resume or your art portfolio or something else like that.
Oh,
Something that
definitely.
that actual employers will look at and say, "Hey, I might actually hire you for that."
Yeah. I would.
It's a really nice learning experience.
Definitely, I can imagine that. This is an opportunity. When else you got the opportunity to work on something that you really love, and then also do work show all your skills, so all the people are impressed about it. It's like a dream come true. This is an awesome thing. Also, Gabo, I just wanted to tell you that on YouTube live chat and John Kappa, I hope I read it out right, just wrote to you, Gabo, we love you. So just a short kind of
Thank you.
appreciation for the people. Guys, I want to hear, I want to see that for the other two guys as well. So come on. You can't go picky and go only for one person. Come on.
Thank you, thank you.
I want a bit more appreciation from you guys in the chat. And yeah. Also, if you got questions for our guests, be sure to leave them here in the live chat. And talking about this project and having so many different people, like, how big is the network? From where to where does it reach right now? Like, I know that's US, it's in Europe, and how far does it go?
So, well, off the top of my head, our core contributors right now
Hmm.
are in Mountain View, California,
Yeah.
Boston,
Hmm.
Arizona, London.
Hmm.
I'm not totally sure where you are right now, Gabo.
Right
You said
now I'm in
Venezuela, and
Colombia,
then oh, you're in Colombia.
but I'm from Venezuela.
Wow.
We've had some people in Thailand,
Mm-hmm.
Pig Devil 2010. I'm hope I'm not getting that wrong, but I'm almost absolutely sure he's in Thailand.
No, he is. He's Thai.
Okay.
We've had some people. Well,
I know.
Draco is I don't know if he's from Japan or not, but he definitely has connections in Japan.
Okay.
One of the animators, Autumn, is from France, but I don't know where in France.
We have a few people in Italy as well. We have so a part of the game that we've been making sure that we're doing right is
Mhm.
localization. So from the get-go, the entire game is built to be translated from one language to another easily.
Mhm.
And we've had a number of translations available already. I think we have 17 languages. Let me
Wow.
check. Yeah, but a number of these people who are proficient in these languages have definitely offered to help step up and translate the game into other languages. If you can speak another language that we currently do not have, we strongly encourage you to help out.
Like, you got German already?
Yeah, we got I think German, Spanish, French, Japanese, Korean, Chinese, both traditional and simplified. We have Thai. We have. I don't know if we have Vietnamese or not. I need to check. I think we also have Serbian,
Wow.
Croatian. A lot of these languages. I think Italian as well. Yeah.
This is stunning. This is really stunning. Like, this shows you guys again that these communities are so big, they are so international. So if you got a language which wasn't counted here, ask them if you could give them some help, because I think that would be definitely be appreciated. Like right now, I regret that I never went for Russian. I was thinking about it at some point, but never was able to. But yeah, so you've got this whole international global thing. Like, is there any kind of problems or trouble with getting in contact with these people, like time zones? Like today, for example, let's recap. Like, it is right now about 52 minutes past midnight here in Germany, and at James' place it should be about 10 to 4 p.m.
Yep. Yep.
And what about the others?
We do have a lot of issues with time zones.
Currently, for me, it is a bit before 7 p.m.
Okay.
For me, it's
So-
almost 6 p.m.
There you
We're
have
all
it.
over the place with this. We do basically bi-weekly meetings, which I think we're putting hours for this.
Tomorrow,
Sadness,
actually.
but we pushed it off till tomorrow for this.
Mm.
And we usually do it at, say, sometime like 12 or 3 p.m. Pacific time, so my time.
I see.
And this produces some peculiar issues. Like, for example, Roy can't be there until like 3 my time. It's like 6
Yeah.
over there for him. And then when for the people in Europe, it's dead in the middle of the night at this current moment.
Yeah. Like, it was from first the thing that when I talked with him with Jameson was like, when do we want to have the podcast? And he was like, well, there are some options, and we talked about them, and one of them would actually have been that I would had the interview around 3 a.m., and that was definitely a little bit early or late, whatever you want to call it. And I said, how about midnight at my place? It would be around 3 p.m., and we agreed on this one, and fortunately all the others agreed.
Particularly bad for the people in Asia.
Oh,
Pigu
yeah.
has pretty much never been able to make it because it's like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, this is always this kind of issue, right? I've got the same thing with my podcast as well. Like, I usually start around 3 p.m. German local, and it's at the same time it means it's around 3 a.m. In California. It means it's still around 10 or 9, I think 9 or 10 p.m. in Vietnam. So I've got this time lags in between. It is crazy. Like, this is so much time difference. But somehow we managed to get along, so this is awesome. Now, I would like to, I would say that we go for another song, and this time it's from the same arranger. It's Maiden's Capriccio Dream Battle. And what can you tell me about this orchestral arrange?
Yeah.
Like, is it already in the game, and which kind of
um,
purposes it has?
I want to say it's in the game, but I honestly can't remember.
It is in the game. Well,
Okay.
we're waiting on Gabo to finish up the Hourai shrine first. Then it's in the
Oh,
game.
yeah.
I mean, it's Reimu's theme, right? We
Yeah.
have to have it on the Hourai shrine.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's just that the netherworld got a bit first, so...
We've kind of been going all over the place with what stages we've been doing, just based on characters
what we
we've
have.
been working on and stuff.
I see. Sounds very interesting.
Yeah. So I think this arrange was actually also released on an album that Crescentia did. Gosh, I can't remember. It was either last year it came out or the year before that. But
It came out
was
2015, I believe. He did it for
Okay.
TohoCon.
Yeah, but it's also being used in the game because it can be, I guess. I don't know. We don't really have much of like a specific rule in regards to like if it's old or new or whatever, but
Mm.
it's more of if the person wants it in the game and it's good,
Mm.
then it can be in the game.
All right. Like we've got this song and another also from the crew is, if I remember correctly, I think Roy, it is even one arranged that you wrote, like the Eternal Shrine Maiden.
Yeah, yeah, that
Because
one's mine.
I definitely want to play those two straight after another, like two in a row, so you can hear both versions, because I freaking love both of them. Can you tell us a little bit about what were your imagination like? What were your thoughts when you arranged the song?
So I guess kind of what I was thinking when I arranged Eternal Shrine Maiden. Um, I knew it had a lot of personal importance to Zun and his songwriting. Like I remember comments saying that he likes to go back to that one song when he gets kind of stuck, writer's block or whatever.
Mm.
So I wanted to do something good with it.
Mm.
Um, so I'm not sure if there was like a super strong influence of any sort of like genre or whatever, um, but it took a while for me to write. I think it was over like a month between December and January of 2015 and 2016, just because I was just trying to nail it
Mm-hmm.
really a lot. So I usually consider it one of the better arranges I've done,
Mm-hmm.
although someone commented on YouTube about things that could improve about it. So I'm gonna leave it like it is for now, but I guess I'll take their advice in the future. I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess you could consider it my signature piece for Fantasy Crescendo.
Wow. Wow, this is something very important to hear. This detail makes it a lot more, yeah, how to say, yeah, makes me at least a lot more curious. If I wouldn't have heard it before, but I've got to tell you, because I heard it, it's awesome. So, guys, prepare
Thank you.
yourself to be blown away by the songs. So, let's get straight into the songs, and then let's resume our interview. So, here we go. Two songs in a row. First of all, it will be this one, which is Maiden's Capriccio Dream Battle, the orchestral version, and then you can listen to the one that Roy made, Eternal Shrine Maiden. Enjoy the songs and hear you afterwards. Well, I don't know about you, but guys, I am so excited when I hear these kind of songs. I feel so excited to see the full product. So I can't wait until the game is released, and I think it's the same with you guys. So yeah, well, let's get ready to continue with our interview with our people. And
Well, the
I would
song's almost
say,
over, so we're about to go back. Oh,
all right, guys,
yeah.
what were I talking about? Surprise,
Not much.
not much. But yeah, actually, what I like to ask you guys is, when you think about Touhou, one of the typical questions is, which characters are your favorite, and which characters are your least favorite, or even your hated?
I guess I can go first. Raiko is my favorite.
Okay.
So I don't know. Raiko speaks to me personally. At least on her from her story. I was born with a pretty bad heart condition. Most of the doctors thought I would not live to be older than 3 months old.
Oh gosh.
Um, and despite that, um, I am now what 22. So we both were born into a world that did not want us to live in for long.
Mhm.
The the miracle mallet pulling back all the magic, her transferring herself into a new body, is a strong will to survive. Like, and I sympathize with that a lot.
I see.
Um, who would be my least favorite? I would say Reimu.
Oh, he gave a big.
I knew that would actually cause a lot of trouble, but Reimu is actually my least favorite Touhou.
Okay, it's your least favorite. That's okay. If you would say you even hate her, I think the shitstorm on the live chat
I
will
don't
go
know.
up.
The in my eyes, Reimu is a tyrant. She rules Gensokyo with a true iron fist.
Oh, I see your point. Yeah.
Uh, her word is law. Um, and if you don't follow them, she'll beat you in the face, maybe even kill you with and for it.
Hmm.
But that's just me. I don't know. Roy, you?
I don't know. This is kind of a loaded question. Um, I don't know. In terms of favorites, there's a couple characters I like. I like Alice. I like Utsuho.
Ooh.
Um, and then there's also a bunch of weird ones I like just because, I don't know. I, I don't know. In regards of least favorites, there's not really a whole lot. Um, there's more characters that I don't really care for more than I like legit dislike. Um, but I guess if there were characters that I didn't like the most, honestly, despite me liking their theme, I'd probably go with the Prism Rivers, to be honest, just because I don't
Hmm.
really see a whole lot in them. I guess I don't know. I don't like their designs. That's mostly it. It's kind of shallow.
Okay. So we've got one more person to ask, I guess.
Well, at least Roy and James already know what I'm gonna say.
Oh,
Yorihime.
My favorite, yes, my favorite is Yorihime.
Okay.
He's simply cool. I just like that character. And then actually bit Remo, so people are salty about that. And I don't really think she's Mary Sue, but
Okay.
I don't know. I like that character. Sure, we can get her into this game one day. As for dislikes, I don't really dislike any of them. They all have their special place.
Okay.
Oh.
How about when I ask you about your favorite character theme? Which songs are there?
That's a hard one.
I gotcha.
Yes.
All right, let's expand the opportunities and say, let's say, any song that Zune actually composed, even songs like, for example,
Oh, that's
yeah,
simple then. That's hands down easy. Greenwich in the
Yeah.
Sky.
Greenwich Sky. Oh,
Wouldn't it be Greenwich? Or is
I,
it
I, I
Greenwich?
Greenwich. It would be
Greenwich,
Greenwich.
Greenwich, Grimace.
It's written as a Greenwich, but but as far as I understood the London people, it was like Greenwich. I was surprised. It was like I was asking Greenwich, Greenwich, Greenwich. What the fuck is it now? And they weren't even concerned by they even know themselves. Like Manchester people pronounce it different, Scottish pronounce it different, and they all belong to the UK. So I was like, okay, which one shall I believe? And the London people were like, I would say Greenwich.
Potato. Come on.
Yeah. And JD is also in the chat. Great to see. So, which other songs would you say? Like, other songs which you say were your favorite? Like, personally, I've got to say one of them for me is Kids Festival Innocent Treasure.
I don't know. I'm the only one that has answered. Anyone else?
Well,
I don't know. There's a couple I could throw out. I like Dichromatic Lotus Butterfly.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, let's see. We're going through like all songs now, not just character songs.
Hmm.
Is that what it was, or are we still going by
Yeah,
that?
I think everything works.
All
Come to
right.
think of it, I pretty much like everything from Magical Astronomy. That was an amazing album.
me too. One of my favorites is Greenish in the Sky, and as they can enjoy him, I like Silent Sinner in Blue, Lunatic Blue. It's not very common, as you can see, but I really like it.
I can't even recall the melody of it.
Like,
See?
I know that it's quite already, how should I say, a blunt answer, but for example, Broken Moon is one of my favorites as well. Because, I don't know, it's the atmosphere, especially the arrangements that were made over the time. They are great to
They're
add
great.
into it.
And I guess another related one is Drunk as I Like, the
Oh,
battle
yes.
theme from
Oh, yes. Drunk as
Shogun.
like. Like, I was first thinking about should I look for a range of that one for the opener of this one, because I think it would be Drunk as I Like in the end of the stream. No, I'm not boozing, but I'm having a Calperinia next to me. It actually is tea, only called Caipirinha, which is funny. Like, it is made by the essential materials of Caipirinha, but it's made as a tea. Huh, crazy stuff. What else you can get in this world? But okay, think about if you're, for example, working on the game.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to a song in the meantime, or are you listening to a song at the time while you are working on it? And if so, which are your songs which you say this, or how should I say, genre which you say are perfect for working on this kind of project?
So it sort of, at least for me, it sort of depends. Whenever I start working, it's usually something straight from my playlist or whatnot. Those usually consist of anything ranging from orchestral to or hard EDM, depending on my mood. Like, for example, if I want to crunch something out, it's usually like power metal or more fast-paced EDM piece. But rather, if I'm sort of sitting there thinking, it's more of a orchestral piece or something a little bit more chill.
Okay.
Except whenever I get to the point where there's this one bug that just cannot go away, I just shut off all music and just laser focus in. It's just
I see.
I cannot afford distraction at that point. Most of the time I spend a lot of time in the there's a big Touhou project Discord that I'm in. And we have this music bot, and people just run whatever they want with it. Sometimes it's just uh, good old music. Other times it's memes. But whenever I get to that point where I'm absolutely irritated with a bug or two, I usually at that point deafen myself. Try not to listen to the antics going on there.
I see.
I don't know about these guys.
Yeah, in my case, it too depends on what I'm working on. If I'm coding a shader or something, I prefer something a bit more slow. Otherwise, I'm gonna get errors everywhere. Now, if I'm working on a model and I already know where I'm heading, I usually prefer hard rock or techno, something very moved, inspires me to keep going. What about you, Roy?
Well, I mean, a lot of the time, if
He's
I'm
sort of
working
just
on
listening
music,
to his
then
own.
Yeah.
that, yeah, if I'm working on music, then it's just gonna be whatever I'm working on, because trying to play music on top of music is a bad combination.
Yeah.
Generally
Um,
speaking.
yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say there's a type of music that I listen to when I work on the project, but that's more just because I have trouble trying to work on the project a lot. Um, I mean, like I back in like the earlier days, I used to do a lot of design for the game, like setting, like giving sort of plans we could possibly take with like the characters or like the menus and stuff. I won't necessarily say that I listened to music while I made those, but
Mm.
that's more just because I don't really remember what I was listening to. And if I do, but I mean, like, my tastes tend to be a bit more, I don't, maybe a bit alternative, I guess. Uh, my more like genres are typically um, kind of like um, I don't know, like I'm sorry, like 80s electronic music and synth pop and sort of stuff.
Mm.
But that's just more like what I regularly listen to as opposed to music I listen to while working on
Yeah.
game.
And I see what you mean. Like for me, it's the same thing. Like I most of the time I listen to Eurobeat, but working, for example, on my Touhou trilogy right now while writing, I usually try to find something that is actually a little bit more in the mood. Like finding songs which are like jazz arrangers or traditional or folk and yeah, and this kind of things. This is the beautiful thing about Toho. Like there are so many different arrangers, even for the same theme. You could get one an action-filled one, then you've got one which is more melancholic and more, how should I say, relaxed, and then you've got another one which is just bluntly crazy and happy joying. This is the great thing about in themes, I think, and which makes it so much easier to listen to it rather
I gotta
than
say,
the other.
Eurobeat is amazing when you're making massive blind changes to code bases.
Oh yeah. All hail Travis
They are
Stevens.
very prone, very prone to making bugs, but you feel fucking great during that time.
Yeah. Like just a few days ago, and Travis Stevens also released his latest Touhou song, which is already on the A1 album, which is also will be also be sold on the data side, which is Catch Us, which is
Right now.
based on the Yakumo gang. So it will be I think. I definitely heard out of it Ran and Yukari. Maybe there is also Chan in it. But I freaking love this song already. It's great. After Tear You Up, I was like, oh gosh, he is back. This is the Eurobeat I love, and he nailed it. This is beautiful. I love it, and I can't wait until he releases his next song, and his next song, and his next songs. I can't wait for it. Like every song he releases, I'm already so hyped for it. And wouldn't and wouldn't have been Touhou Radio Next Gen without the mention of Eurobeat. Of course, metal. You know me. Like this is all about it. You know, it's like Touhou and there's Eurobeat and there's Eurobeat and have I mentioned Eurobeat? Okay, jokes aside. Uh, but yeah, this music is definitely, I think, a very essential part of Touhou. Of course, next to it are the characters and the gameplay, but I think the characters and also the songs which are written for them make them very unique and very special. Like you can see the differences in character. For example, if you compare Broken Moon, for example, and then a Pristine Beat, it's just ways different, but the
They
characters,
embody the character that they
yeah, and
go
you
for.
definitely
Got
got
a
the
drunken feel for Broken Moon. You got a strong beat behind Pristine Beat.
that's the point. Yeah, this is definitely it, and this is very interesting to see. Like, I never thought, first of all, that it would be like this much of a difference, but surprise, surprise. After you get into it, it's quite a lot. And just right now, I've got to check out a little bit because apparently I've got a little bit of a frame drop, rather like a problem with the stream. Is somebody in the stream right now and can tell me if the stream is still running? Because on my side, it says that the stream has a few output problems. Can somebody tell me if it's still running?
It looks
normally?
fun.
Okay. Which is interesting because it's dropping now consistently frames. I don't know why. It
Seems
just
to be
get
running fine.
crazy shit. Oh, okay, it's apparently it's back normal. I don't know what happened, but okay. Sorry for the interruption, but right now, as I said, the OBS is going a little bit crazy. Let me know when the stream is cutting off or something like that, so I can check out if I can improve the situation. All right, guys. I would say we continue with the next song actually, which is the Fantasy Crescendo soundtrack selection. Now, I got a few questions on that one instantly. Like, reason for selection, is it because it's for the game menu selection, or why was it named like this?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So it's actually the selection theme from PODD.
Ooh, that sounds awesome.
And I think it's for the character select. I'm pretty sure.
It is for the character select, yeah. We're probably gonna maybe see if we can get one or two more pieces for that. Just so we can vary it up a bit. This one was kind of a collaboration I did with a couple other people. We mentioned Pigu before. He did some of the tracks on here, like the drums or whatever, and I worked on the rest of it.
Yeah.
And then we had another guy, KFC, Kung Fu Cthulhu, who does like EDM sort of deal. He did the mixing and mastering on it just because I was having a hard time with it. So he was very helpful in helping with that. So it's credited to all of us.
Okay. Well, this sounds very, very interesting. It's getting very keen to listen to it, and I think our our viewers as well. So let's dive in straight into the song. So here's another song arranged by Roy. This one is called Selection. Enjoy the song, and hear you guys afterwards. Well, getting excited about the song and the game as well. And of course, my computer has a little bit of a lag, I guess. Terribly sorry for the inconveniences right now here in the chat, or rather on the stream. However, it appears that my computer, or rather my laptop, is screwing up again a little bit. Loud noises, curses, whatever you like to call it. I'm a little bit pissed about that situation as well. So, sorry and bear with me on this one. But yeah, can't do a lot against it. Like, this kind of situation apparently happens now here and there sometimes, and we can't work ourselves around it apparently. I'm very sorry. But guess we will be back on track in a few seconds with it. And alright. Then let's get back to our guests and ask them. Alright. Yeah. Back we are, back into the interview, and as we talked about a little bit earlier about music and characters and so on, are there specific circles that you like the most?
For what? Music?
Yeah.
Music.
It could be also sing.
I'm a big fan of Halo Z. Halo Z,
Yeah.
A1, Hatsune. Can't pronounce them for crap. Hatsune Tsumiko.
Yeah, Hatsune Miku. Yeah.
Is a good one. Is a good one. Floating Cloud as well. Those are the ones I listen to the most. Oh, Rolling Contact as well. They make some really good hardstyle.
Okay. Oh, by the way, hi there, Mama Purity, who is right now in our chat as well.
Oh, Mama Purity. I love their work.
There you had it, Mama. A nice greeting from one of your fans, I could say, slash maybe one of your sons in this way. Okay, stupid puns aside, let's continue. Which others which other circles and ranges do you like, guys?
Anyone else here?
For
I wanna
me, it
answer,
would
but I
be.
don't. Okay.
For me, one of my favorites are Iosis and Dark Phoenix.
Classics.
They have really nice albums I like to listen to. Like Arrow Rain from Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, that one album, pretty legendary. Love pretty much every single piece from it.
Perfect. I like listening to it while I work on the stages, actually, among other things.
Okay.
Roy?
I'm gonna be admittedly, I'm not as up to. I'm not super knowledgeable on music circles because I tend to listen to a lot more than just like arranges and stuff. If I did say stuff that I liked, I'd probably be a mainstream shithead and probably say like Dematory, maybe a bit of C Clays, maybe. And then
They're
not all
perfectly
of their
solid.
music, not all of their music, but like the synth rock tracks from shoot, what's their name? Hold on, I gotta look this up. DBU Music. How do
Okay.
you say that?
Yeah.
Decibel? I don't know. I don't know how to say their name, so I'm not gonna try.
Noburo Sagi, I think, is how they pronounced it. That was the full name of them.
Okay. But not all their stuff, but I really like like their synth rock tracks. And I'll probably also toss in A1 as well, just because Eurobeats.
Definitely.
So
Hands down.
between like the old initial D soundtracks and like the Touhou Eurobeats, that's mostly where I get the Eurobeat from, I guess. So
Mm.
I would also suggest IZM. They make amazing tracks.
Okay.
Wonderful EDM, and space electro as well. I listen to a lot of circles.
Well, I can see your point for that, and I know at least one person right now in our live chat who would go crazy if I would name the circle Tama-onsen. Who- I definitely I
They're the
first
only circle that I can think of
yeah.
that does really good rap.
Yeah, definitely. Like I first generally I don't like that much rap. I'm sorry for all but Eminem fans and whatever you are, but I'm not really into rap. But when I heard Tama Onsen for the first time, I was like, this is actually quite good. And that's how I went to know a little bit more about them. And one of their songs that I really like is a range that they did with, I think, with whom was it? Owl, which was Kids Festival Innocent Treasure remix, which was awesome. I really like this arrangement. But let's get a little glimpse of the future. Like, if you in July this year, you say the first basic system of the game should be releasable, or rather, should be
Should be
released.
well. The game is already playable in a
Yeah.
testable form. We just don't plan on a publicly released set until July. If you want to be a tester, the we're perfectly open to it. There's an actual tester role that you can get on our Discord, and we'll ping you each time there's a big change for you to test.
Hmm.
However, yes, the first demo should be out probably sometime late July. I think the goal was July 29th or something like that.
Okay.
I'm a little bit worried on how well we can meet that goal, but particularly with a lot of us being so busy nowadays.
Hmm.
But yes, with that, uh, that is our current goal. Try to get something out there with maybe. Well, we definitely have one stage right now. I'm questioning whether we'll have one character ready or not for that. The actual game itself has 8 characters planned, only one of which right now has any serious work into them. The other ones have little tidbits here and there,
Hmm.
but slowly we'll get there
Okay.
together as a group.
Which is a very interesting thing. Like this team morale is really awesome. And when the game is released and all the people find out about the modifications and so on, are you planning or of having something like how can I say, a forum where all the people can post their modifications and so on, or what is the plan generally, like a follow-up system on the internet?
So right now, all of our code and everything that we have is available on GitHub. The uh, idea is, at least in the near future, we would like to see people, if they're making mods or whatnot, put their modifications onto GitHub itself.
Okay.
The actual code for the game is under GPL, so it actually requires you to open source whatever modifications you make.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You
so
could even make a subreddit for this.
we could make a subreddit for this. There are a number of ways we can tackle this. We haven't really considered that all that much. If the community grows significantly and it's difficult to manage otherwise, I guess we'll consider building a bigger general community kind of thing.
Hmm. All right, sounds very interesting. Like this is actually something that might really go to is it's already a big success story, but I've got the feeling that we are here right now witnessing something that goes a little bit more bigger than maybe some of you think right now. This is really all so interesting. And so it's just, yeah, how can I say? Every time I check out their Discord, I find something new that they have on it, and it's like, wow, this is great. This looks great. This is awesome, and all the people around it. This is really, oh man, like you've got to check it out for yourself. Check out their Discord and find out more about them in person. because it is great to see what they've got and what they offer. Also, like, is if this game's gonna be that huge success that we all expect to be, like I'm sure about it. Like I feel definitely confident to say that it will be a huge success.
I wouldn't hype it up that much, but yeah.
Just let me push you a little bit, okay? Like what I really want to say. Oh, Certain Scarlet is also online slash Shinky. Hi there, Don. Great to see you here. And is there right now? I know it's like the stupidest question that you could ask even before the game is released. Like, is there the possibility to say coming soon after the game? Like, there is something that you're already in your mind. Like, there is already a mind experiment going on about some
What do you
kind of
mean by that?
like a
Repeat that. I think you cut
sequel
out a
or
little bit.
a spin-off or whatever.
Well, that sounds far away.
That sounds very far away right
That's the
now.
reason why I say it's so
Our
small.
are so far away. It's not even worth considering.
All right.
Um,
Like I can understand. I
we did
totally
have a
can
few
understand.
other really big stretch goals, but I don't think it's something we probably should be mentioning right now. Can't. We should. Unlike some people, we shouldn't be promising things that we can't deliver on.
Oh,
Right.
How backhanded.
somebody got just shots fired. But all right, no. Personally, like, it's just a question because you've got so many different individuals with different proficiencies. Like you've got song arrangers, you have got graphic artists, and so on. System manager, and all you can think about. So I thought like somebody is having already plans for songs which aren't included in the game, or is working on stuff that might be usable for something else, like a whole animation that could be like this minus T project ish thing, and go with some music to it. Or I got the feeling that after the game is released, there is so much more to come afterwards as well.
We openly accept and encourage anyone. If you want to make something for the project, we definitely say please do. We'll openly accept pretty much if you make something for it and for the game, we'll openly accept it. Um, I think the only cases in which we've actually rejected content being added is when it directly conflicts with something already existing in the game.
Ah, I see.
Like for
Yeah.
example, if two people made say a racing character or
Yeah.
something like that, and one of them has already been included in the game, the other one has been developed separately for oh so long.
Yeah.
We don't have a way to confide between the two.
Of course.
There'd be a lot of conflicts and work that would need to be done just to get the two working in parallel.
Yeah. I can see your
Yep.
point. And on this perspective as well, like, is there a chance that we will see something like how can I say, a song album or an art book with all the concept arts and so on at some point after the release, like taking for all the
I personally have no plans for it, but I don't know about
Within the
Roy or
possible.
it certainly is possible. Because at the point we can sort of just collect whatever we have. We might be able to put together a few more things. It's a nice thing to have. Perhaps.
Okay, now a question which is more for each of you, as a person who is first of all having. Let's talk about it individually. Like, if somebody comes around and asks you, "What is Touhou and where shall I start?" What would be your first answer, or what would you answer them?
Repeat that.
If somebody just comes along and asks you, "What the hell is Touhou in general, and where shall I start to get into it?"
Touhou is a meme. one with a lot of effort behind it.
Okay.
You can
And
start.
Description.
Touhou is a super high effort meme in which there's a wonderful community developing behind that meme. To get started, I would say start playing the games. That's where everyone should start.
okay. What about the
In my
others?
case, I'd suggest them to start with a fan game, but a fan game that is from the genre of the games they already like. So if they like, I don't know, strategy games or Pokemon games,
Mm.
I'd point them towards Touhou, for example.
Mm.
So that way they get trapped in Touhou hell.
Oh no!
Oh no, what have you done? You destroyed this pure soul. And you're like, I'm so satisfied with it.
Exactly.
Sounds good. Sounds great to me. And what about you then, Roy? What would you.
Um, well, I mean, there's a couple ways you could approach it. I guess you could start playing the games. Although, I guess if you want to get someone to understand, like everything, I guess you could probably just start them on like catching up on lore, to be honest, because there's just a lot. Um, and like you could play a game and then go look up stuff and not know who anyone is because they came from a different game, sort of deal. So
Hmm,
I guess read up, try to get a general familiarity, and then go for from there. I guess
I see. Hmm.
play a game if you want. Play a
Hmm.
game. Don't play a game if you don't want. I don't know.
Okay, let's think this person followed your lead and got into it, and he's really hyped about Toho, and he starts to think about it, and he comes towards you, and he wants to do the same thing as you do, like for example, making arranging songs, creating games, or making graphics. What would your free advice for the beginner if you would see him coming to it and would ask you, what is the main thing I should take care of?
Um, well, in regards to music, if you want to make arranges, it doesn't really matter what you use to make music with. You will get different results depending on different ways you do things, like different programs or whatever. But there's no wrong way to do it. But um, if you are gonna do arranges, then it helps to know about music, like music theory, at least a little bit before doing it, and kind of just be proficient with how to actually do it in the first place, I guess. Like I personally didn't start by making arranges, um, but I was able to use my knowledge of sort of making original music in creating arranges. So um, also maybe be familiar with what other people do, see what kind of approaches they take to different songs, I guess, and then try to figure out where you want to go as well.
Okay.
As for me, at first tell them to have fun. That's the most important part. If you have fun, then learning is pretty easy. Be it 3D modeling, drawing, or just coding. The fun is what makes you learn faster and better. It's what makes you make games without you noticing it. It's a really enriching experience.
Hmm.
Yep.
You,
I
James?
can agree with that.
Hmm?
For so on my end, for whatever that Gabo and Roy have not already said,
Mm.
Specifically for games,
Mm.
my suggestion is do not focus on creating the best game you can make in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on creating something that you can finish.
Oh.
Starting games and if starting games.
Ouch.
No, no, it's not. It's not like like an insult or anything else like that.
Yeah, I see.
I genuinely mean this.
Yeah.
It's making games is hard, and there's a very common thing in game dev, or in general, like software development. There is something known as scope creep.
Mm-hmm.
Very easily, beginning game devs will say, "Oh, I'll make this, add this in, this in, this in," and then during the middle of their development, they'll say, "This game is not complete if I don't have X, Y, and Z." And then if they continue this process, the
Mm.
game development just goes on and on and on and on, and eventually you have a mumbled state machine that doesn't feel like a game.
Mm.
You have a bunch of crap out there that is not playable, and you have wasted maybe hundreds of hours on a single project. When you start off with a game, you want to define a good scope to work with.
Mm.
Define what is the maximum you want to do for that game, and then say, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do any more. I might do less.
Mm-hmm.
And start off something simple, like for example, uh, make a Pong game. It's really simple. You just got two paddles and a little ball bouncing off the walls.
Mm.
It's really simple to do, but it's also really hard to make it fun.
Mm.
Like or fun in a modern sense. Like
Yeah.
nobody plays Pong anymore.
Hmm.
As a serious kind of
Mm.
exercise, but like what can you do to turn Pong or a similar game like it into
Mm.
something fun? Like for example, take a classic twist on Tetris, right? Where
Mm.
it's a fairly simple game, you can understand it fairly easily, but people have played it already. It's something that's nothing new.
Mm.
But people took that. Some developers thought, "Hey, why don't we make it multiplayer? Why don't we add this one new thing that makes it that much more enjoyable?" And
Mm.
they succeeded at it. They made money off of it even. Um, and because of that, they were able to define a very reasonable scope and a reasonable finish time, and they tried to go for it.
Hmm.
Once you've gotten that down, you get into the groove of understanding what is in your ability, how long things take, and even then, how much can you do with that amount of time? What can you
Yeah.
get what what is the best game you can make with the resources you have?
Wow.
And that with that in mind, you can pretty much go anywhere.
Mm.
And you can work by yourself. You can do as we did, form a small group. Say, hey, we like making games as a hobby, so
Yeah.
therefore we group up together, make these cool things.
Wow. Well, this is
So that's
actually,
my advice.
yeah, actually, it's very, yeah, how can I say? It's not only inspirational, but also it's very, how can I say, motivating to hear this kind of advice because it really gives you the in-depth knowledge about what you guys are working on, how much of a pain in the ass it sometimes could be, and that you got to deal with it all and to get a focus on this main essential things. This is interesting. Well, because we are closing in into the last minutes, there's one question I would like to ask the whole time, which is if you have, or rather, what was the greatest compliment you ever heard from a person or from a fan base about your work? Can you remember one of these?
Hmm.
I remember distinctly someone saying that this is the most graphically intensive Touhou game that I've ever played. Cough, cough, someone in this chat right now. um, yeah, Gabo tends to make some super high definition stages. Like they're freaking ridiculous.
Okay.
I'm actually really surprised that Gabo was able to fit the quality of the forced magic that he has created right now into 700,000 polygons.
Really?
Something like that you expect out of something like several million or more, but
Yeah,
pretty much everyone's computer will die from running that.
of course. That's really a masterpiece. You definitely got to tell us at some point how you did it.
Yes, of course. It's an art as well as science. It's really fun to do.
Genso Kyoa doesn't know limits, right?
Indeed.
And I think the other compliment was this is by far one of the largest collaborative efforts I've seen the community even try. Which I think, yeah, it's pretty true. We've got a very large number of people around the world working on a single focused goal.
Most definitely.
Honestly, it honestly boggles my mind sometimes.
Hmm.
I don't know about you guys.
You just gave me one of the. You, James, just gave me one of my favorite compliments, I guess.
Okay.
Times when we post
Admittedly,
things on.
we don't want it to be one of the most graphically intensive ones, just largely because some people just can't run the game because of it.
Yeah, well, details.
If it runs on my laptop,
On
it
the
definitely
compliments-
everybody can play that.
We're aiming to try to have most people play this. It's one of our main goals. So even if your comp isn't so powerful, we're trying to make you play this game. I mean, you should be able, or at least I'm trying to do this.
Oh, just got a other one compliment right now in the live chat from Pepe Alvarez, I guess. Sorry if I pronounce it wrong. Gabo's stages look made by a professional. Really outstanding.
Pepe.
Just to let you know that it's like today, Gabo, you get all the credits for this, huh? Guys, come on! Like James
like
is
it.
doing an awesome job on it, and Roy is also doing a great job with his music. Come on, guys! I want to see more compliments.
A lot of the stuff that I'm doing is best if nobody was able to compliment on it, because then that means nobody noticed it, and that's the entire point with the game engine and everything else behind it. It should be as smooth as possible, as well designed as possible. Nobody should be. It should be a silent honor.
All right. What about you, Roy?
Oh, I don't know, to be honest. Yeah, I'm just kind of unsure on this one, just because I can't think of any particular examples. I like that you're enthusiastic for my music, though, I guess.
I'm not the only one. Like you had to check out the live chat. There were people like saying, I listened to only the first 2 seconds and said instantly in love with it, or instantly like it. The people know what good music is in my community, okay? Like I'm not doing that only for amateurs. There are really pros here who know about music, and they say it's good. So you've got to believe that, and I'm definitely buying that. It's awesome stuff that you make. And I can't stress it enough that to manage this kind of a big project is something so hard. Like I know it firsthand from projects that I did over the years, working with so many people on so many different things, and it was really a hard work. And I'm so impressed, James, that you are able to pull this one off. It's like wow, it's just stunning, and all these great people. This is something, guys.
We have a great team.
Like
Indeed.
many years later, even the community will remember this. Will say, Hourai Teahouse, these were the guys who revolutionized the fam games from Touhou. And I mean, like, I seriously think it will be, and this is what all the others think. Trust me. So, I think you really should be proud that you are a piece of it. And I am very honored to have had been the opportunity to have you guys as my guests, because this is something that I can smile about, I guess, later when your whole thing goes viral and all the people are like, oh my gosh, Hourai Teahouse. And I can tell them, guys, did you know that I interviewed them many years before it was even cool? Like, I was there from the first moment, in brackets, first moment, like, dropped in way too late to get this interview, but I was always hoping to have it, and I'm so glad that we were able to pull this one off. Like, you see, this
Thank you for inviting us.
Indeed.
Oh, definitely will ask you when I go for another special or something like this, and also when you finally release the game, we will do a special as well. Trust me. If not, Gensoku Radio is quicker, and
Hey.
I can book you before that. got to be faster
Hey,
than that.
sounds good.
But yeah, generally speaking, it was outstanding, and it's a it's such a big thing, you know. Like my podcast was in hibernation for many weeks before, just 2 weeks before I did a spontaneous one because I felt like it, and you were the reason why I said I definitely want to make a podcast. Don't matter when, don't matter where, it doesn't matter where. I just want to have it, and it it feels so great. Like it's 2 a.m. in the morning right now here in Germany. I'm sitting here upright, being completely hyped, and say, "Oh my gosh, I wouldn't be able to sleep because I'm so excited right now until 6 a.m." Because this is honestly what I feel like right now. So you guys, you heard it. Definitely check out their Discord. I will link them later once again in the live chat. And this is the point where I've got to say the 2 hours are through, and I think there is the opportunity right now to give you the link again for the Discord of our group, of my community. So check it out, and in the over there you can also get into the voice chat. At least I know that James is also with me there, so you can get over there. I will be there in the voice chat for a few minutes after this podcast, and I guess a few of the others will be there as well. And yeah, so I want to thank you from the deepest depths of my heart so much. I want to thank you so much for being my guest today, because it was not only a pleasure, it was an honor, it was just awesome. It was an experience I really wanted to have at some point, you know, and it really feels great. I appreciate it that you've been with me tonight, and I guess all the people who are watching right now would say the same thing, definitely. And I would like to. I hope that we will have the opportunity to interview you once again, especially when the game is released. We will talk about it when it's time. It's so definitely in about 2 months I will ask you again. But
Oh, it's a demo release. It's not like a full game release kind of thing. But yes,
still,
That
we will get
works.
all the reaction from
It
the
works.
people. So yeah. So thank you all for that. And if I can ask you for one more thing, I would like you to greet our listeners, our viewers right now, in whichever way you think it would be suiting. All of you.
Yes, of course. I'd like to thank all my family, friends, and especially the community who is listening to us and always support all our hard work. Thank you, guys.
good stuff.
Mm.
Y'all are great people. Enjoyed this quite a bit. Yeah.
And Roy?
Mm.
Mm.
Closing remarks.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Thank you for listening, people, and yeah. Check out our game. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe. Click the button down below. I don't know.
Like us, heart us, subscribe,
hydrated.
doobly doo.
Okay, right now we got another compliment this from people which goes for Roy. Like the music arrangements are awesome too. Zun's music is already fantastic, so
for
making it better.
Agra Tank or Ansari form, stay hydrated, my dudes.
So okay, guys. So great to have you with me. So I will go for the final goodbyes as always. Before we go to the final song, and I've got to announce that one, especially because Baba Music was that nice to send me a sample of his new album, guys. Here, right now, you are the very first people to listen to these new songs. This is one of the songs that I picked out, and this is actually because I decided to take this one because I know that one of my guests today likes, especially Raiko, and this is actually a song which is based on Pristine Beat, and it's called Heavenly Dream. This song is amazing, and you will like it too. So this will be our ending song for today. And I'll go for the usual ones. So 3 languages in a row. Here we go for the goodbye. So let's start with German. An alle, die gerade noch zuhören, danke, dass ihr noch so lange wach wart. Ich weiß, ihr wollt alle jetzt pennen gehen. Ihr seid müde bis zur Scheiße, aber ist okay. Ich wünsche euch einen wunderschönen Abend. Schlaft gut. Habt viel Spaß dabei. Checkt die Leute aus. Die haben es absolut verdient. Und ja, bleibt gesund, bleibt munter, bis wir uns bald wiedersehen,ね? And now in Japanese. はい、今回も皆さん見てくださいまして本当にありがとうございます。いや、いつ本当に復活するかわからないんですけど、でもまあ、できたらまた見てください。さらに、やっぱりホーライティーハウスのことは絶対見た方がいいと思いますよ。絶対後悔しませんから。ですから、これからも、見届けてください。ありがとうございます。Well, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Have a great time. Stay healthy. Do whatever you do, but be careful. And we will see you guys all next time. So let's finish it off with the last song for this stream, which will be Heavenly Dream, the latest song made by Baba Music. Enjoy the song and hear you next time. See you in the next stream then. Or rather, next Phantasm. Good night, and yeah, see ya.